Hello and welcome. This is the Binge List, in which I talk about the shows and films that I've loved. There are too many choices out there, and spending a few minutes with me might save you a lot of time later. My first pick is I May Destroy You on Disney Plus Hotstar Premium. This is a 12-episode series written and co-directed by Michaela Coel. Coel, a black woman born in London to Ghanaian parents, is a dazzling multi-hyphenate talent. Writer, director, showrunner, and actor. In I May Destroy You, she fictionalizes the story of a sexual assault. She also plays the lead, Arabella. Arabella is the author of a best-selling book, Chronicles of a Fed-Up Millennial, which was based on her popular Twitter account. Now she's struggling to finish the first draft of her second book. She's missed her deadline and is given a final night to finish by her publisher. Halfway through, she decides to take a break and go out with a friend. The next morning, she finds herself back in front of the laptop with a cut on her forehead and a vague memory of a man looming over her in a toilet. She realizes her drink had been spiked. What follows is a sprawling, expansive exploration of consent, sexuality, racism, and ideas of freedom, family, friendship. I warn you, this isn't comfort viewing. The series is deeply unsettling because it presents millennial life as raw, messy, sometimes horrifically tragic, and impenetrable. And the narrative confounds every expectation. Character arcs are twisted rather than straightforward, and everyone, including Arabella herself, has moments of darkness. Arabella lives a precarious life. At one point, a drug dealer advises her not to take drugs as he sells them to her. In another episode, we see how her social media fame consumes her. Her best friends, Terry and Kwame, also have grave lapses of judgment and then struggle with the guilt of their actions. However, Coel and co-director Sam Miller don't give us the solace of judging these characters. Instead, the directors make us intimate with them, to a point which might make a few people queasy. In several scenes, Arabella is sitting on the toilet. In one episode, Arabella's period is discussed with a frankness that I've never seen before. There's nudity, swearing, and violence, but all of it serves a purpose. And Coel is such a charismatic and compelling presence that you might recoil in horror at Arabella's poor choices, but you can't get her out of your head. Her pink wig, combat boots, striking face, and strident voice force you to reconsider your own notions. The sexual landscape presented in I May Destroy You is grim and banal, with its soul-sucking, app-fueled encounters. This might be far from your lived reality, but the questions that Coel poses here are ones that we all need to ask again and again. This show is a must-watch. Don't miss it. If you're easily offended, then skip my next recommendation. For those with thicker skin, there's Amazon original Borat on Amazon Prime Video, which presents the latest adventures of the bigotry-spewing buffoonish journalist. Actually, the film's full name is Borat, Subsequent Moviefilm, Delivery of Prodigious Bribe to American Regime for Make-Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. And yes, it is every bit as unhinged and delirious as that sounds. Sacha Baron Cohen, an English-born, Cambridge-educated actor and satirist, first appeared in the avatar of the Kazakhstan reporter Borat Sagdiyev in 2006 in the mockumentary Borat, Cultural Leanings of America for Make-Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. As Borat, Cohen would insert himself into conversations and homes of ordinary Americans and earn the confidence of his subjects. Their conversations would eventually reveal that, like Borat, these people were homophobic, sexist, anti-Semitic. The sequel, like the first, showcases the ugly truths about America. It's been directed by Jason Walliner, who earlier directed episodes of Saturday Night Live, Parks and Recreation, and What We Do in the Shadows. But it isn't path-breaking in the way that the first film was. For one, Borat is instantly recognizable now, so his interactions need to be more elaborately staged and include many disguises. The film feels more designed and less spontaneous, but the lunatic energy is very much in place. In this film, Borat is sent back to America to seek favor with the president, here called McDonald Trump. But this time, his adventures across the promised land include a partner, his 15-year-old daughter, Tutar, played by the terrific Bulgarian actor Maria Bakalova. Borat plans to gift his daughter to Vice President Mike Pence as a gesture of goodwill. There are scenes here that will make you laugh out loud and others that will make you cringe. At one point, Borat and Tutar are at a right-wing militia gathering in Washington state where Borat gets the audience to sing along with him a song that has lyrics about injecting former President Barack Obama, quote-unquote, with the Wuhan flu. In another, Borat asks a Texas baker to write on a chocolate cake the words, "Jews will not replace us," and she does this without question or hesitation. It is in equal parts horrifying and hilarious. But ultimately, what makes Borat's subsequent movie film tick is the character of Tutar. Tutar starts out filthy and happily subservient. Her great dream is to live in a golden cage like Queen Melania. But her trip across America enables her to see that women can take charge of their own lives, and she finds her voice. Bakalova matches Cohen in courage and lack of inhibition. She goes out on a limb as far as he does, but also brings to the film heart and a smidgen of emotion. Her fearlessness is electric. For millions of Indians dreaming about America as the promised land, the Borat films are a rude wake-up call. The new one is even scarier because the bigotry is out in the open. Borat released before the US election, but I think watching it then would have given me anxiety. Now you can laugh knowing that at least some semblance of order has been restored, though a few scenes will still make your jaw drop. Like one in which Vice President Pence, speaking at a Republican convention, says about COVID-19, "The risk to the American public remains low." What a cruel joke. My third recommendation is one of my favorite films from 2019, Kumbalangi Nights on Amazon Prime Video. Kumbalangi is a small island near Kochi. The film is the story of broken men who live there. Four orphan brothers, Saji, Bobby, Bonnie, and Frankie, try to negotiate their troubled relationships with the world and with each other. Their father is dead and their mother has become a nun, which is almost worse because she's chosen a life that doesn't include them. Like their lives, their home is unfinished, literally and metaphorically. There's no door, and every squalid corner seems to reverberate with old slights and grudges. There are no women here. Saji, who cooks their meals, is a sort of a mother substitute, except when Bobby pushes him too hard. Then, Saji and him get into a physical fight. Meanwhile, Frankie watches and says this house is nothing but hell, and Bonnie sees the brawl from afar and turns around. He wants no part of this family. Neither does Shami, played by Fahad Fasil. Shami is a control freak. His need for order and neatness is almost creepy. So when Shami's sister-in-law falls in love with Bobby, we know that there will be trouble. But Kumbalangi Nights isn't content to be just a thwarted love story. Debutant director Madhu C. Narayanan and writer Shyam Pushkaran create an exquisitely layered portrait of love and loss, compassion and redemption, and above all, the meaning of masculinity. The ugliness of the brothers' lives is in sharp contrast to their stunning surroundings. We know that Kerala is God's own country, but cinematographer Shaiju Khalid showcases it as a slice of heaven itself. And the soundtrack by Sushin Shyam is exquisite. The acting is stellar. The standouts are Shobin Shahir and Fahad Fasil. Shobin is terrific as the tormented head of this frayed family, and only an actor of the caliber of Fasil could have prevented Shami from becoming a joke. Kumbalangi Nights works like a quietly magical poem. Watching it, I was once again grateful that streaming platforms with subtitles have made all these films available to us. And my discovery recommendation for the week is Hansal Mehta's Aligarh on Eros Now. Aligarh, a dramatization of true events, is the story of a gay Aligarh University professor who is filmed having sex with a rickshawala. The sting operation is a violation of privacy, but the university chooses to punish Professor Cyrus rather than the culprits. Cyrus is suspended and evicted from his home, and eventually he dies under mysterious circumstances. Hansal tells this tragic story with a heartbreaking tenderness, and Manoj Bajpayee as Cyrus is magnificent. With his stooped shoulders and bewildered eyes, he seems like an animal who has been hounded into a corner. I think this was the best performance of that year. Aligarh is a quiet, meditative film, so don't go in expecting some sort of roller coaster ride, but I think you'll enjoy it. That's all for this week. What did you think of the binge list? What are some of the shows you think I should be watching? Do drop us comments below and keep watching the binge list. I'll see you next week.